Doing? It's your boy Russ here at RM Fitness. I'm gonna crush some Q&A, and today I'm gonna crush Q&As that are coming from our members, from our Wigan gym, coming in mainly from John Hewitt and Jill Burrows. Okay, two questions that are sort of quite interlinked and related. So John's asking, he's kicking off by asking, what's the best way to stay on point diet wise? I'm struggling big time at the moment to be good. Um, And then another, Liz Gregory as well. Me too. Finding I'm becoming complacent with food choice at the moment. My carb cravings have returned. Okay, so I'm just asking there for a bit more information off John Hewitt before I can sort of delve into why he's getting issues here. So mainly John saying at the weekend I work away from home Monday to Friday and the diet is spot on. I come home and the missus wants takeaways. My little 3-year-old is running around eating crisps and Smarties. Even the cat's biscuits are tempting. And then a bit of banter. And then Jill's saying, totally get where John's coming from. Through the week, I'm so structured that all my hard work from the week is undone due to my lack of structure over the weekend. Don't eat takeaways as I plan my meals, but there are too many treats in the house, mainly bread and biscuits bought for the kids. So there's a common theme here, isn't there? The first thing I want to do is I want to empathise. So as someone who's got 3-year-old kids as well, or kids at any age, they're going to be eating foods that maybe aren't right for our sort of the way we need to eat as adults to be sort of lean, healthy, strong, and be where we need to be. So I think that I can empathise with that. I can also empathise with. I've always had a problem. My biggest downfall for me has always been the weekends. And I think it's an emotional thing. I think it's come from me, from when I used to play rugby, and it was sort of eat clean Monday to Friday, even eat clean Friday night, no alcohol, get up, play a game on Saturday, and then it's the classic rugby thing, isn't it? Then of you've obviously burnt a lot of calories, haven't you? And then it's that rewarding your thing, or sedating yourself if you've had a shit game, or celebrating maybe, so it's a few beers and it's some shitty food, and then that can roll into a Sunday. And I found when I was younger I could get away with that. Now, I probably, because my training volume's lower than it used to be, little bit older, more stressed now, and I don't get away with that anymore. So I totally empathise with that, and I don't know where your triggers are coming from. I think probably John, with you, that's probably is an emotional thing. I think most people, if you're used to working a Monday to Friday sort of gig, it is an emotional thing because it's like a release, and it's a sedation thing. We sedate ourselves with alcohol and foods that we shouldn't be eating really because they give us that short-term kick. So anyway, I can empathise, and I can also say from my point of view is I know when I make my best results, I'm not eating shit all weekend. If I eat shit all weekend, I'm probably going to be either going backwards or staying still in terms of my body fat levels. If I can move all that shit into one day, then I'll probably either again stay still or slightly move forward. And if I can move that shit into like half a day, I can move forward optimally, or not, maybe not 100% optimally, but it keeps me on track, and I can keep to a good fat loss lifestyle and move forward in that respect. So yeah, I just want to underscore that with the fact that I empathise where you're coming from. I think a lot of you guys, you look at us trainers, us coaches, and think we're different, we're special. We're not. We're normal people with the same struggles as you guys. So don't ever feel like you're weird for binging out at the weekend, or picking at the kids' food, or sedating yourself with booze. Don't ever feel that's like, that's just you on your own. That's something that's really weird. And I think the second thing to underscore is that you've got to be realistic in terms of like the impact of what you're doing at the weekend. You've got to be aware of that impact. So there's two things there. Are you happy to take the hit, as I call it? So there's certain times, like if I've got a lot going on, I'm happy to take that hit. I know that I'm not moving forward optimally, but sometimes I will just want to go for a meal with the family and have a couple of beers. And I understand that my body composition isn't moving forward through that period. Now, conversely, I've had other times in my life where I'm really disciplined and I do want to move forward. I do want to significantly drop my body fat, and I am prepared to be more disciplined at the weekends. And it depends where you are on that continuum. How unhappy are you with your current level of body fat or your current lack of muscle mass? Is that presenting you with a daily concern? If so, how big is that concern? What's the magnitude of that concern? What's the impact of that concern? And am I prepared to give up what I need to give up at the weekend and man up in order to move forward? And there's only you can answer that question. And I think that will change at different points in your life. So I always think when people ask questions like this, you've got to identify the problem first. I want to give you guys who've answered under this thread, there's a few more of you as well, a big pat on the back because you've identified the problem. Some people are in denial. Some people haven't got the intelligence to work out the problem. And some people just haven't got enough knowledge to kind of realise that maybe that what they're doing at the weekend is actually stopping the results. So they end up being very frustrated and they're in this circle all the time of looking for a magic answer. So fair play to you, John, Liz, there's a few of you answered down here, Jill. I think you've identified what the problem is. So what do we do after we've identified the problem? Okay, we need to identify the trigger. So for me, John's trigger, and he's identified it himself, is, well, his problem is the weekend, okay? But his triggers are twofold. I think one, it's this conflict, isn't it, with sort of the missus wants a takeaway, I want to eat healthy, but at the same time I do enjoy a takeaway and the temptation's there and I'm taking the temptation. So my solution to that would be to discuss it with your missus up front. Right, come on, these are my goals in the next 12 weeks. This is where I want to be in a year. This is where I want to be long term. In order for me to get there, I can't have takeaways Friday, Saturday and Sunday and have a few beers or whatever you're doing. So it's then a discussion around, well, okay, how about if I come on from working in Scotland on a Friday and maybe that's the best time to have a takeaway, then we don't have to cook and it's like, we're seeing each other, there's an emotional thing going on. Maybe that's the best one to get out of the way. And then maybe it's like, look, I'll go out and get the shopping on a Saturday and get the right food and I'll make the whole family like a tea that's healthy but one that tastes good. Now it could be like steak and you could have some sweet potato chips or you could have even some oven chips aren't going to be the end of the world. If you're having takeouts every night, that's going to be better, isn't it? And you're going to feel satisfied. Have a bit of coleslaw and a bit of salad. You've kind of had it's not a 100% clean meal, but mentally that's probably going to keep you on track. And maybe you need to do that Sunday as well. And so I think the thing with your missus, that it's a very common thing that. I think that's a communication thing. I think it's a planning thing. And I think it's like maybe just engaging and getting her on board with what you're doing. Not that she isn't. I don't know. I've never had a chat with you about it. But it helps, doesn't it? People always say communication's number one in terms of any objective communication is number one when you're working with other people. So I think well done for identifying your problem. Well done for identifying your triggers. I think yours is the same as Jill's. It's the same as mine. Is the kids running around eating different foods that you shouldn't be eating. And I think that the thing with that is that's probably just a mental thing, isn't it? I think it comes back to your goals, doesn't it? How much do you want your goals? That's discipline, in my view. I get the cheat meal thing, because that's more emotional. But I think just picking at your kids' sort of food and bits and bats of sweets and things and just grabbing them out the cupboard, I think that is a habit, essentially. And it's a habit that you fall into, that I fall into, that lots of other people fall into. But I think the thing for that is just stepping up to the plate a little bit. Remind yourself of your goals, remind yourself of your current reality, remind yourself of how your current reality is making you feel, remind yourself of how if you keep on doing these behaviours and these habits, you're not going to get to your end goal. And that's a simple fact. So you can't have both things, can you? You can't have all the takeaways, picking at the kids' treats, X, Y, and Z, and have an awesome physique. Okay, you can't have an awesome physique and pick at all these different foods that you shouldn't be having. So I think it's kind of identifying why you're doing it, but I think that's on a lower level emotionally than probably the sort of cheat meal or the takeaway meal. I think that's a deeper, probably emotional thing that you've got to address there. But I think the kids picking just knock it on the head. It's just a habit that. And I'm going to come at the end of the video and talk you through some basic guidelines to make sure that you're hitting the right targets in terms of food groups, so you're less likely to want to pick and crave. I think on that point as well, it's like it's hard, isn't it? You know, like if you think it was easy to be in shape, so to be strong, you know, muscular, whether for a bloke, whether that means having some decent muscle mass, for a woman it probably just means toned up. For me, it's the same process to get there. But I know women and men like talking to it differently, so we'll address it like that. But you know, to be lean, muscular, fit, athletic, strong, healthy, you know, all these things that people want. Sometimes it's a decision. You've just got to say it's hard. You know, it's hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it, and that's why this industry's doing so well, because everybody's looking for that magic answer and that magic solution. And yes, we can look at quite a few things, but at the end of the day, sometimes you've just got to look in the mirror, man up, and just say, where am I at? You know, I can either have excuses or I can have results. I can be looking for the magic solution all my life, or I can accept my reality and I can dig in and get results. It's like, it's one or the other sometimes. And I think me saying that, and you know, in me saying it, I'm projecting what I think, because sometimes I need to say that to myself. So again, when I do these videos, I'm not talking down to people, because, you know, like I said at the start, I struggle with this stuff as well. So just accepting that it's hard, and that if it was easy, everyone would be ripped to death, wouldn't they? And in great shape. I think moving down, then you've got Jill's question here, and Jill's actually answered her own question, which people do a lot, which is good. So Jill said, totally get where John's coming from. Through the week, I am so structured, then all my hard work from the week is undone due to my lack of structure over the weekend. So what's the answer? The answer is the same answer as what it is for me. It's structure at the weekends. Having the right foods in, then you're not tempted to pick at the wrong foods. Having some snacks in that are you know, healthy snacks or whatever you want to call them, so you're not picking at the kids' stuff. Having structure in terms of having that Evolution breakfast that we talk about, the E365 breakfast. There's a video on our website, www.rmfitness.co.uk, on the homepage. The Evolution breakfast, having the food in to eat that breakfast, having the right lunch in, so that when you're taking the kids out, and instead of just stopping off at McDonald's because the kids are screaming and you're stressed and you're hungry and you're putting yourself second because you're home from work for the weekend, you want to make sure it's a good family day out. You know, all these things, they have a knock-on effect. So it's in terms of, like, you know, a simple thing. Get a cool bag. Prepare a lunch in that cool bag and take that with you. And then you can get the kids whatever you want to get the kids, but you've got your food with you. You might end up finding that they want to eat like that as well. So it's structure, okay? Structure at the weekend. If that's what's missing, implement it. And then last thing, I just wanted to summarise this by just saying, let's just ensure that all the basic checkpoints are in place. Because what I've just said will only work if the basic checkpoints are in place. So you need to look, number one, your protein target. We talk about protein targets. So everybody in this gym knows about protein targets. Make sure you're hitting your daily protein target. Make sure you're hitting your water target. Same sort of conversation. Everybody in this gym knows what their water target is. You should be hitting your water target. Make sure that your fats, you're eating the right type of fats and you're eating enough of them. So, well, I'll come on. Let me finish this up actually, and then the last thing is your overall calories. So make sure they're in the right place. Now, what can happen is if these sort of, you're not hitting these targets, then it can cause food cravings. So all that means is that you are more likely to then grab a packet of the kids' sweets, crisps, some chocolate out the cupboard. Because when your nutrients aren't in the right place, your body's pre-programmed through the evolution it's our survival mechanism. So when we're not hitting enough calories, when we're not hitting enough fats, when we're not hitting enough protein, our body's pre-programmed for survival. And what it will do, it'll send you looking for food. Well, the most calorie-dense food is crisps, chocolate, that type of food that is going to put body fat on you. But from a survival point of view, that's perfect. Because if you don't know whether you can go out and make your next kill for 5 days, then calorie-dense food is the best food choice, isn't it, for a caveman? And that's how we think. Don't ever... All these issues, guys, come back to the animal brain, the monkey brain, the chimp brain, whatever you want to call it. So it's our basic survival mechanisms that have enabled us to survive all this time. And that's what it comes back to. So you've got to hit these basics. Like, if you're not hitting these basics, if you are going through the week and you're eating 150 grams of protein Monday to Friday, and then you can't be arsed having the proper breakfast on a Saturday morning, so you're having Cocoa Pops instead of protein, and then you're wondering why mid-afternoon on Saturday you're delving in and having a McDonald's with the kids, or you're eating some of the kids' shitty food that you shouldn't be eating, well, that's because you're not hitting the basics. So you need to hit them basics. I think we're not, for 80% of people, I don't think you need to be obsessively counting numbers every single day, weighing your food. I don't believe busy people need to do that to be in good shape. I think if you want to get in great shape and really get shredded, then you need to go through that process. But I think everybody should go through a process of using, if you use MyFitnessPal, so that's the one I'll use every now and again when I want to look at generally where are my calories, generally where's my protein, generally where's my fats, generally where's my carbohydrates. That's your macronutrients. Like, where are those numbers at? You need to sort of roughly know where your numbers are at. You do it as often as you want. I don't believe in doing that every day ongoing. It's boring and I'm too busy to do it. I'm lazy, I can't be arsed doing it. You should be able to eyeball your food and see roughly the quantities. But if that's something you want to do, then, well, not even if it's something you want to do, I think if you've never done that, you need to do it. So pick up a period of about 5 days, pick some weekend, so 2 weekend days and then 3 weekdays. Put all your food into that app, make sure you're using it accurately, and then just look at where you're at calories wise. If you guys want to put it in our private members group for us to analyse, then we're here for you to do that. I think that's everything, guys. I enjoy doing these Q&As because I like giving back. I like giving information out that's helping people, and I'd rather kind of give you the information that you want rather than me just sort of going down a blind alley rambling on about a topic that no one's interested in. I think it's a very, very valid question from John, Jill, Claire's got one in there, Liz Gregory as well. I think they're very valid questions, these, so well done, guys. Okay, I'm Russ Meadows, RM Fitness Wigan, RM Fitness Manchester. If you want to find out more, then if you go to www.rmfitness.co.uk. Peace out, guys.